Welcome. This is our MRS22 Spring 2021 Final Review Part 2. And if you've not got a chance to watch Part 1, please make sure you catch that out. Check it out. Okay. All right, so we're now question number 2. Barb pulled a plug in her bathtub and started to drain. The amount of water in the bathtub as it drains is represented by the equation L equals negative 5t squared minus 8t plus 120 represents the number of liters of water in the bathtub, and T represents the amount of time in minutes since the plug was pulled. And so you have this bathtub full of water, all right? And L is the amount of liters of the water in the bathtub. T is the amount of time in minutes that have passed since you pulled the plug and all. And so here we go. And the function L equals negative 5t squared minus 8t plus 120 tells you the amount of liters. So how many liters of water were in the bathtub when Barb pulled the plug? And you gotta show the reasoning. So you gotta kind of show the reason or how you found your answer to be. So you take an answer here. You just gotta say, okay, here we go. Well, for the first part, okay, and again, must solve algebraically, of course. So the first part, when she pulls the plug, T is equal to 0. That's the very first thing here. T is equal to 0. And if T equals 0, then we find L is equal to negative 5 times 0 squared minus 8 times 0 plus 120. So therefore, the number of liters left over when you work this out means L is equal to 120 liters. Okay, so there are 120 liters at the time when Barb pulls the plug. That means pull the plug. What do you mean? When she first pulls the plug when T equals 0, or how much water is in the bathtub when you first start? That's the first one. Okay. All right, and since there's gonna be a lot of space here, I'm going to again. You'll see I'm gonna be shrinking a lot of things here. So and if you need to, in case they actually too small, you can easily just go back and review. So rewind, watch over again, watch this 1,000 times. All right, so I'm not sure who would watch 1,000 times though. All right, and so at what time is there 20 liters remaining? So this one is different. This one is where you're not going to be you're trying to find T and you know L. So for the second one, we see here that L is equal to 20. I want to find T. Therefore, the equation will be 20 equals negative 5t squared minus 8t plus 120. And so in this situation, again, we're solving a quadratic equation. So we're going to subtract 20 on both sides. So we're solving quadratic equations quite a bit, pretty important in this case. So we have 0 equals negative 5t squared minus 8t plus 100. Okay? And we're going to round our time to nearest tenth of a minute, so t will be nearest tenth of a minute. We will round off the very, very end, though. Now, here's the thing. When trying to do these problems, I'm going to give myself a little more space here by moving the screen up a little bit. All right? When trying to do these problems, I'm going to use quadratic formula. All right, because I don't know if I can factor this evenly. I'm pretty sure I can't. But I like to have my a value positive. This is me. So to do that, I'm going to multiply both sides by -1. You can move everything over to the other side, but you'll still get, in this case, you get, I'll have here 0 is equal to 5t squared, positive 5t squared, plus 8t minus 100. And we're going to find our a value, b value, and the c value. Our a value here is 5, our b value here is 8, and our c value here is -100. Okay. Now, if you're not sure in this case why we do this here, hopefully you saw the other problem. The quadratic formula here we're going to use is t is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, so we'll plug in now. And we're going to get, in this case, here we get t is equal to negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4 times 5 times 100 all over, let me close that parenthesis there, all over 2 times 5. Well, in this situation here, we get t equals negative 8 plus or minus. Now, 8 squared is 64. 64. And then negative 5. Ooh, this should be negative 100. Sorry about that. It should be negative 100 here. Negative symbol. All right. So 4 times 5 is 20 times negative 100 is neg 2000. So we really have 64 minus neg 2000 is 2064. Okay. So our square roots, our radicand for a square root would be 2064. All over 10. Okay, so now we're going to find our values here for t, all right? So really what end up getting, let me move up a little bit here. T equals negative 8 plus the square root of 2064 all over 10, or t equals negative 8 minus the square root of 2064 all over 10. And so we can use our calculator, and that's what we're going to do actually. So let's take a look here. Negative 8 plus, so we have negative 8 plus the square root of 2064. All right, now I'm not going to divide by 10 until after I combine this here. So we have 37.43126677. Now I always recommend find the value numerator first, and you have your calculator. You just take the answer and divide by the denominator, which is 10. And so round to the nearest tenth of a minute is 3.7 minutes. For the other value, I can just copy this here, negative 8, and instead of negative 8 plus, I'll do negative 8 minus. I can just kind of do that to add that, hit enter. All right, so I don't have to, I could retype over again, but I'd rather not, okay? And then divide this by 10. And so for the negative 8 minus 2064 over 10, I get negative 5.3. So for the first one is 3.7, the second one is negative 5.3. So we have 3.7. This is negative 5.3. And this is time, is minutes. The problem is we can't go back in time. And so we have a negative time value. We must reject this here. And therefore, we will have about 20 liters of water in the bathtub after 3.7 minutes. Okay, I'll move this up a little bit here so you can see all this work. Okay. All right, so now, see if I can grab all the stuff here. Again, I'm going to group this together and see if I can make this a little bit smaller so I can get some room for the next question. I'll shrink this down just a little bit size here, move this over. Okay, there you go. Don't need that much room. That should be okay. All right, so the last one's going to be at the nearest tenth of a minute, the amount of time it takes for all the water to drain. Well, we have our quadratic formula, but now we have to use our different a values, okay? So because in this case, our equation is going to look like the following. We'll have 0 is equal to, actually 0 is equal to, because there's no more water left, equals negative 5t squared minus 8t plus 120. We're going to again multiply everything by negative 1. So we have 0 is equal to positive 5t squared plus AT minus 120. And our values of A, B, and C will be A is still 5, B is still 8, but our C value now is neg 120. And so we'll plug into our quadratic formula, and we get T is equal to negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4 times 5 times negative 120 all over, can't forget that part, 2 times 5. All right. And so for this part here, we still get 64. So remember the 64. All right. And 4 times 5 is still 20. And now 20 times 120 is going to be 2040. So minus negative 2004, so 2400. So 2400 means your inside number is 2464. Okay? And so when we piece it together, we're going to get, in this case, T is equal to negative 8 plus the square root of 2464 over 10. And T is equal to negative 8 minus the square root of 2464 all over 10. And, you know, we probably know that we're going to reject the second one, but let's find the values anyway. And because the numbers are so similar, we can just kind of do what we did before. Let me go up here and, oops, nope, here we go. Negative 8 plus 2000. So I'm going to copy this and change it to 2464. That's what we got here. And divide that value by 10. We get 4.2. 4.2. And I'm going to copy this value here and change to 2464 with a simple button push and divide this by 10. And so the second time in this case will be negative 5.8. So we have 4.2 and negative 5.8. So we have 4.2 and then of course negative 5.8. This is time, so it's minutes. Let's look at 8. Okay, so my handwriting is dreadful. Sorry, everybody. But again, we cannot go back in time. So we must reject this value and do this here. It's about 4.2 minutes to drain the tub. And ladies and gentlemen, you will need to show the rejection. All right, otherwise you will not get full credit for this though, okay? All right, everybody, let me make this full page so you can see everything. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but still definitely work you can do, all right? And I hope this video was helpful, right? If you find it helpful, please give a like, really appreciate it. If you have not subscribed already to the channel, please do so. And turn on notifications. We learn when new videos are coming up, especially when we start doing stuff where the giveaways and such so, okay? All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Leave any questions or comments in the comment section below. I will see you in the next and last video for our final review, part 3. Take care.